Okay, Gianna, what's up your sleeve today?
I don't know. I had something up there before, but I don't know what happened to it.
Okay. What is that beauty behind your left shoulder?
Okay, that painting is one that I did this week.
Yes.
And it took me 2 days to do it.
Oh, how are you going to do it today?
So, I won't do it in 2 days. I mean, I don't know if I'll do it in 1 day. So what I thought I would do is it's an acrylic.
Yes.
Doing it kind of like a watercolor style, except I added a little bit more texture to it. It's more advanced. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I think, and you've painted water enough to know that it's tricky to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I'm going to do today. That's what I'm going to do.
Great.
Anyway, I'm having trouble not looking at you. I cannot look at that doggone camera.
I'm trying to teach her, folks.
Yeah. If I have to look at that silly camera, first of all, it's an inanimate object. You're not. I mean, at least not to my knowledge. You may be.
All right, get on with the painting.
Right,
Never mind.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, you're going to see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to wet the paper, and then we're going to go from there. So we'll see how long it takes. If we can do it in 1 day, fine. Or 1 session, fine. If not, we'll have to do it in 2.
Very
and
good.
I have to look at him, folks. No way I can do this is looking at. Have you ever looked just at a camera? I just feel like
We'll learn her. Like my brother would say, we'll learn her. All right, let's move it.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, we're ready to go. Okay, what I want to mention, I know we mentioned this before, but I'm just going to go over it really quickly for those who didn't get it. And that is what I do for my acrylics. A lot of people have them say, yeah, they dry out.
I know, you know, yeah.
Yeah, but this thing is a dollar store container,
right.
And it has a lid, of course. This is a wet cloth in here that I wet, soaking wet, and then I just like pour it off, put a little Javex on it so it won't smell. And then I use an ice cube tray, fill them up, so I have it all the time. This thing is so old, and it looks it, I know.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, but it works.
Yeah.
And it's not an expensive. If you have to keep throwing away your paints because you haven't finished using them, it gets expensive. So this isn't, and so it works really, really well.
Okay.
Anyway, just briefly now, you saw the painting that we're going to be doing today. It's an ocean scene, and I'm going to wet my paper.
I'm going to move this over so you got room to
thank you.
clean your brush.
That's good. Yeah, that's a great idea. Now I'm wetting this using a spray bottle. It's just a little easier to do that. Then I'm going to move that in there. I'm going to wet it really, really thoroughly. And I don't want you to be bored to death, everybody. So we'll just do it as quickly as we can because we're going to get at it.
Yeah.
No. Okay, then I do...
Oh, you're going to flip it over?
I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to move it back into the light of the camera. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Ivan. You're so useful. Gosh, you're useful.
Oh, yes,
yeah, you
I
are
am.
useful. It's really, really nice, There's some things that are essential services, and it's to have an Ivan. Everybody should have an Ivan.
I should have a couple of them. I need another one of me.
That's right. I'm sure April feels the same way.
No.
Maybe not. Yes, maybe not. Okay, so I wanted to get that wet on the other side. The towel will absorb a lot of this, but it'll just keep it flat.
Okay.
And I'm going to put the 2 colors on, really. It's going to go from blue to yellow.
Yellow?
Well, kind of yellow. The foreground sand.
Oh,
it's going to be kind of yellowish.
All right.
And the colors that I'm going to be using, I'm going to use ultramarine blue. There's my ultramarine blue.
Yeah,
but I love that ultramarine blue. And I go from here to here because I don't want it too thick.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to just put the tiny, just a touch of burnt sienna in it. Because I just want to tone it down. I don't want it quite that blue. This is we in the North Atlantic,
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So here we go. Look what it does. It it bleeds all over the place. I just love it. So
now,
I'm just going to throw that in.
You don't have to worry, I know I'm late. I was late today, folks. I was supposed to be up here early. Good thing Gianna slept in.
I did. I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I thought, the alarm went off. I didn't hear it.
You're in a deep sleep.
I was tired last night.
Yeah.
I teach all day on Wednesdays.
I know. Isn't that
And
nifty?
it's wonderful. I'm so glad I can do it. I just love it. We're on Facebook. I don't know if you can get on it. We're on Gianna's Painters.
Yes.
And they go on that. I think they can go on that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a private
thing. Anybody can
thing.
go on Facebook if you remember.
Oh, yeah, okay. If you go on Gianna's Painters, you'll see some of my students.
Yeah.
Some of the things that go on there. And it's really great fun. So we have this going on here.
Yeah.
Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some 3 colors here. Excuse me.
You got a frog there this morning.
I've had a cold this week.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You're all better now, though.
Oh, yeah. You know, really, a tough old bird.
You didn't
I
get
call
it.
myself a tob.
Tough old bird. I just figured that out.
I'm a tob. Yeah. So we're going to throw
As long
that.
as you're not a tub.
Yeah, really. Okay, that's the darkest.
yeah.
I'm going to go with
All
this
right.
because I'm going to go to Naples yellow, which is a little bit lighter. It's not going to show that much.
Hardly noticeable.
Just hardly notice it. And then there's this, whatever it is, this buff white. It's a creamy color. So there we have that.
There's the sand.
This is the sand. So we're going to put that in there. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
There's done. Bye.
I wish it was like that today. It's so cold out there,
It's
folks.
really cold.
Mine
out
is
there.
11 this morning.
Yeah, it really, really is. Now, there's a couple of ways, and I'm going to show you them. What I do, just take a tissue here.
Oh,
and
yeah,
if you want
dabble.
you can take a little bit of this off.
Makes clouds.
It does, but I've left it too long. I'm talking too much.
Oh.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of white in there
I
instead.
can say that.
Yeah. So
That's the nice thing of acrylic.
Oh, look, this is acrylics. This is wonderful.
you can
I'm still
cover up.
leaving it. See, now what is going to... I don't know how well this shows up.
Where?
In the camera. Because I
Oh.
noticed when I'm looking at some of these things, I'm thinking, well, I hope that showed up enough.
Well.
But anyway, so I'm just going to pour that in there.
Oh, I like that.
It's nice, see? And then I'm going to take some of this buff white, so it's not dead white.
Oh,
As I said, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you get all those beautiful colors.
Yeah, you do. Don't
Oh,
you?
speaking of colors.
Oh, tell me about that now.
You know,
Tell me about colors now, Ivan.
some people are colorblind.
Yeah.
And this morning there was a video. They came up with these new glasses that people that are colorblind can see color.
Aww. Oh, that's
And they had
lovely.
all these adults and kids that had never seen color because they were colorblind. And they
Right.
gave them these glasses to put on. Oh, it was so touching. Even my eyes watered. Like some of them are
Ivan,
crying.
I must see that.
That's how I posted it on my...
Oh, did you?
this-
Okay, I'll have a look. Okay, what I want to
yeah.
do here, it's because I don't want it to
Yep.
to dry, so I'm going to just wipe most of this water off because I'm going to put some rocks in here.
Okay.
And I don't need to use the hairdryer in this. I'm just going to blot this out because I don't want this to be quite so wet. But I have to do it so that I get this nice background. So
Yeah.
that's going to be like that. So I'm going to go now with burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, that favorite color of mine when I'm doing darks. But I don't want it too necessary.
What's this
See?
for? Rocks?
Yeah, this I'm going to put. I'm just going to put.
Oh, the cliffs.
Yeah, so I'm going to put this in to start with.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, some of them
Oh,
cried.
that's beautiful.
They said one of them said, "Is this what it's really like?"
Aww.
You know.
Oh, that's moving.
Yeah, it was. It was really.
That's
It's
lovely.
I don't know how they come up with this stuff. You know, how do they invent these things?
Oh, I don't know, but
Just
I'm glad
amazing.
they do.
Wow,
I'm so
yes.
glad they do. I want the outside edge to be darker. I often do that
Yeah.
because
I
that
do
gives
too.
a nice little lean. Do you?
Yeah.
You do that too? You do that too?
Yeah.
Ivan? Oh my gosh, we got a lot in common.
Yes. Maybe we're from the same gene pool
We probably,
somewhere.
you know, that wouldn't surprise me. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of light onto the top of this rock because the light's going to hit that like there. And probably a little bit in the front. We're just going to leave that like that for now.
All right.
Okay. And then I'm going to have another one, which is right about here. I love that if you could just feel the texture, I guess is the word I'm looking for, of these rocks,
Yes.
and the way this paper is when it's damp like this.
Yeah, it's just like you're right there.
Oh, it really is. It's wonderful. So we got this rock going on like this, going on with great guns here, Ivan. So we're going to do that.
So would we classify this as watercolor?
Mixed media.
Okay.
Yeah, mixed media, Ivan. So this is, you know how we talk about the dark rocks at
Yeah,
Peggy's Cove,
yeah,
don't walk
oh,
on
yeah,
them?
yeah.
Well, this is kind of, you don't walk on these either. We're going to do that because it's
Yeah,
a little
I
bit
know.
better.
That's yes. But since you're right, you don't do that at the top.
No, I wanted that
Oh,
light
you
to
do?
hit
Well,
that.
it's not over on your other one.
No, it isn't. But you know, every painting, I'm so glad you said that. Because every painting has its own personality. And it will tell you what it wants.
Yes.
And it does. It's yelling at me right now to get on with it. You know. Right. Okie dokie. Now, the next thing I do is clean my brush off. All right. And I'm going to take off the excess water here. The same thing with it. I don't want to have this too blue. So I just tone it down with a bit of that color that I've got for the rocks. So it's just, see how that does? It just takes that little bit out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so just in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going
to... the headlands
yeah, I'm just going to put
over
this
yonder.
Over yonder. That needs to be just a bit more.
Yeah, it's too blue.
Too blue.
Still too blue.
We're not in the tropics. It is too blue, isn't it? So, but he keeps me on the straight and narrow, folks. There. Then we'll just do that for now. And I'll come back at that later.
You will.
All right, so here's where this breaker is going to be. Underneath this breaker...
Oh, that's the tricky part.
This is the tricky part. Underneath this breaker is going to be a little bit of this.
What's that?
That's the underneath of a breaker.
Okay.
The breaker is going to be in here. And then what I'm going to do... So you see this? That's that little sandwich. Now I'll go in with some white. And I'm going to put that in here like this.
Oh, that's the spray.
There's a little bit on the wet side. Just a little on the wet side. Anyway, we'll fix that. No,
how many towels do you go through?
Oh, a lot. A lot, I do. Towels are... Off to Value Village to get a towel.
Oh, is that right?
Well, yeah, but they're
the prices are going up.
Oh, I know. I know.
You know who
I'm
owns,
not impressed.
Do you know who owns Value Village?
Who?
Walmart.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
Are you sure of that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ivan. You're not going to get sued, are you?
Why? How can I get sued?
Well, if it's not true.
It's true. They bought it.
Oh, really?
Well, you got the bucks. You can do lots of things.
I guess. There we are. Okay.
You
This has
didn't
got
know
to
that.
be just a little bit drier.
Is it? Why?
Well,
That's a little straight. How come you don't have some hills there?
Well, there's going to be a headland over here after.
Oh, that's the water.
What do you think it was?
I thought that was the headland.
Oh, did you?
Okay, that's all right.
Oh, gosh, I hope you...
Well, I'm upside down, remember?
Oh, that's right. He's not... Well, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay, this could probably be a little bit taller, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. But in the back here, this is where this headland is going to be. We're just going to... This is going...
Oh, yeah, that's more like it. Yes,
okay,
yes,
this
yes.
is going to go back in here.
All right, now we're cooking.
Yeah. It's going to be... This is like Cape Breton.
Yeah, or Bloomington.
Or Bloomington.
Cape Smoky.
Cape Smoky. Could be any of them.
Yeah.
Now, when that dries a bit, then I'm going to just make that line just a little bit solid. So
Okay.
there we have it. Oh, that's
right.
better. Okay, so I'm going to leave that now, just to dry a little bit. And then this wave is coming over this way. I wonder if people can see this. Is this dark enough?
Oh,
People
yeah,
to
they
see?
can see it. I can see it.
If you can see it, well, if you can see it, they can see it, Ivan. I'm going to make that wave a little bit bigger. It's a pretty picture.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is once it's done.
I would lay on the rocks and watch waves for hours.
Oh, I could too. Oh, it is
I never
the
get
most...
tired.
I know. And we're so fortunate that we have that.
I know.
Now, what's going to happen here is that this, very, very lightly, I'm just going to put this, this is kind of like the underpainting. So this is going to come around, this water is going to come around like this. And then one of the more tricky things to do is the foam holes.
Yes, foam swirls
holes.
And twirls.
Yeah, the foam holes. But this water is going to come around here. This wave is come into here, and this wave is going to have foam holes. But what I'm going to do in the first
Now, that's a new term for me, foam holes.
I don't even think it is a term. I think I coined it. I've still got that little bit of a cough, you know, a little cold. It's part of the cold that I have this week.
But you had the woman's cold.
Oh, don't listen to him. Do not listen to him.
I don't wish anything bad on anybody.
I know you do.
I just wish
that you could get a woman's cold when you get a cold. Is that what you want?
Oh, I have had the last one I had was there's nothing to it.
You had nothing to it. I've been down for 2 days.
Yeah, but man, I just wish every woman that makes fun of us men when we have colds would have a man cold just for an hour. That would do. And then they would understand. I
invite you to write in on that one. I definitely just skip the
just an hour. That's all. That's all. I don't want you to suffer too long.
Yeah. Dear.
And I love that. I'll record you moaning and groaning.
Oh, listen to him.
Oh, you have no idea.
I know. Like, while that is drying, what I'm going to do here is we're going to have some rocks going down towards the water. So what I'm going to do now is
brush.
Change my brush to a size 8 round, and I'm going to add some yellow ochre. So this is going to be kind of a greeny gray.
All right.
And then what I'm going to do here, so this is when I do rocks, most people know how I do them, but I'm just going to go draw one right, say about here. Let's put another one maybe here. But it's the outside edge that I'm after.
All right.
And I'm going to do it the same way as I would do watercolor. So this is just the start, because this is kind of like the underpainting.
All right.
You know what? If this is going really quite well. We may do this in a session. I know. I mean, my gosh, you must have been
surprised. That was a good rest you had.
It really was. I needed it because I had this woman's cold.
Get a man's cold, you'd still be in bed.
Yes, probably would.
Oh, I tell you. You know, the funny thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just see how I'm doing, like the watercolor style.
Yes.
Now, if I were doing this on a canvas, I wouldn't be doing it quite the same way. But I'm starting it this way. Then I add a little bit more. Let's do another one right about here. Are you learning anything today, Ivan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I learn every day.
Oh, yeah. I do too, you know. Are you a reader?
No.
Well, you're a writer. He's written some beautiful books, folks. If you haven't read his books, they're lovely.
Joan, what's her last name? Oh, she was a physiotherapist. She taught at Dal.
Oh, yeah.
And she writes a lot of articles. And I was asking her to critique, or, just look over my first book.
Yeah.
Or second one, I guess. I don't remember. Anyway, I wanted her her opinion and, some help. And she says, you need to read the classics.
Really?
I said, I don't read. She said, no reader, no writer.
Isn't that true, though?
But anyway, I did it.
We both have a friend, too, speaking of writing, but Kevin Hubley gave me a tape that he had made of his music. It's genius. Yeah? It's brilliant. Oh, I wrote to him. I don't know if he's got it yet. But it really is. It's quite amazing. He's an amazing young man. Yeah. Most people are young to me now.
I know. He's 50-something.
I know. Like my kids,
I know.
Right, here we go. Oh, well, I don't mind. That's another thing. I don't mind growing old. I don't really. I quite like it.
It's better than the alternative.
Yeah, growing old. Now, that's something to be written about.
What?
Being old. I think it's fun. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm adding...
Is that why we have so much fun? We're getting old?
It probably is. You don't have the things to prove anymore. So I've got...
you can get away with a lot when you're older.
You can. And do.
This is a nice reflection from the sky, too.
Yes. You see how it's just going to all tie in. This is I'm working on the underpainting at this stage. I'm getting all the problems worked out, if you like. So I'm going to... Whoops.
Yeah, when I'm strange when I get a cold, because when I lay down, I feel so much better. And my wife? No, just the opposite. Can't breathe, all that. I clear right up.
You know what Neil does? My son, he goes and plays hockey.
Oh, sweats it out, eh?
Yeah, he does, really. okay, I want to have this. Now I'm going in now with burnt sienna and ultramarine blue.
Oh, now we're getting down.
And
to
now we're getting down to brass tacks.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still a little on the wet side to work, but it won't.
Well,
acrylics,
the
it's not gonna
acrylic
be
doesn't
that-
run like watercolor.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's got a little bit more control,
Yeah,
and I love it for that.
I like the darks.
I do too.
They're rich.
Yes.
And as most people, when they come to me that want things framed and they're beginners, they're scared of the darks.
I had a. Did you remember? Oh, well, you wouldn't remember her name anyway. I probably shouldn't even mention it on that thing. But anyway.
Oh yes, I love it. People love to hear their name.
Okay. Well, she's gone now. She's gone. She's into the great studio in the sky. Her name was Shirley Kneckel.
No,
and she wrote a poem. She was from Lunenburg.
Lunenburg,
She was one of the
well,
Adams
Kneckel, yeah, what do you
that's
expect?
a big name there. Yes, she was one of my students.
Is
and
that
I'm
right?
she was one of my very good friends as well. She was a darling woman. Anyway, she wrote a poem. Don't be afraid of your darks, and we sang it to "Don't be afraid of your darks," and you know, to the Sound of Music song.
Oh yes.
Oh, it was funny, and we just had the biggest tickle over that.
Wow. Well, that reminds me of my grade 9 school teacher. The second time at grade 9, first time didn't work. Teachers weren't very good.
Honey, if anybody went through the cracks, it was you. They didn't know what they
And
had.
the second year, I understood absolutely nothing in geometry or algebra. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it. I didn't understand a thing.
No.
The next year, we had Jerry O'Regan. He made it like ABC. I think I mentioned this before.
Okay.
And then one day went in and he said, I have to teach you the metric system.
Oh.
And he said, it is so easy. And then he gives us a little song and dance. And the next day we go in, he said, forget everything I taught you yesterday.
Did he read? Good for him.
He said, I even have a simpler way. And he did. But I never forgot this. He said, here's the little rhyme. Millicentidecimeter, decahecakilometer.
Oh.
Never forgot it. It's millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter, decameter, hecameter, kilometer.
Oh, yeah, well, it just makes you want
And everything is 10.
Yes,
and
that's
people say,
right.
I don't understand the metric system. I said, yes, you do. Your money is metric. You got a penny. That's a millimeter. Right. You got a dime. There's 10 pennies in a dime. There's 10 dimes in a dollar. There's 10 ones in a 10. There's 10 tens in 100. There's 10 hundreds in 1,000. And 10 thousands is 100,000. And then you go to the millions. And it's all 10.
Yeah.
That's the metric system.
That's the metric system.
I said, you saying, oh, I can't transfer this to this and that. I said, well, if you got a dollar,
It's a lot clean, yeah.
and you, how many pennies is that?
10 pennies.
No, a dollar.
Oh, okay.
It's 100 pennies.
Yeah.
I said, now all I need to do is put a dollar sign in front of it, and you can figure it out. And that's the metric system in measurement, right?
Well, my gosh, that's clever.
Anyway, that's your lesson for today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But I never forgot millicentidecimeter, decamecakilometer.
Wasn't he clever?
Yeah.
Now, see how those rocks
Oh,
are working?
yeah,
No, that's nice.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put the cracks in the rocks.
I know.
Here,
You got to have the.
You got to have the cracks in the rocks because this is.
That's where I fell. You say. You said I fell through the cracks.
Ah, look! There he is. There's his head sticking out right there. Yeah.
You cracked me up.
Here we go. He's off to the races, everybody. Now that gave this a chance to dry a little bit. Let me just take a. One thing about acrylics, that's not going to lift.
No, you got that right.
You know, I mean, it's wonderful really for that. Well, it's wonderful for all kinds of things, but really is quite wonderful for that. Okay, so we've got that going so far. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my blue again, and I'm using now a little bit of the Naples.
I'm surprised that paint doesn't dry
Yeah.
when you got the top off.
Well, it won't for that short period of time. It you know, eventually will. And it will around the edges, but no, while I've got it like this.
But you sure save a lot of paint.
Oh, save, yes. This is the most economical of all the arts to do, I think. I know, really. Now, if you work with oil paints, you can put your oils in the freezer. You knew that, eh? Your oil paints you can put in the freezer.
No, I didn't know that.
You can't do it with acrylics.
I can't believe you taught me something else.
All right in here now, I am doing, this is kind of like negative shapes. I'm doing the in-between the foam holes.
This is
This takes a bit of
this
time
is the
to
beach. Coming up to the beach, is it?
Yeah.
Just prior?
Yeah. Well, what's happening, this water is coming over the beach.
Yeah.
And so it's the local color, which of course is beach color in this case, is going to show that. And then I'm going to go in with a bit of white after.
You're a good girl.
Oh, yeah. The furnace went on, folks. We usually close the door. It's cold here this morning.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really, really cold here this morning. Okay, I'm just going to go under here now. This is going to be a little darker. It's this kind of thing that you really can't do quickly.
No, I know that.
You know, you can't. It's some things you can.
This is the wave, eh?
Yeah, this is the wave.
Is there going to be any green in that?
Yeah, it's going to be.
Oh.
I know, you like that, don't you?
Yeah, I like
and then
that
I'm going to come in
green.
here with a little bit. I like this white to me.
Oh, yeah.
I soften it actually using a little bit of white. I don't know if you can see my hand because it's backwards.
I can see it, yeah.
You can see it? And this is going to have a little bit of color in it. It's going to splash in here.
Yeah, you got to have
just
that action.
behind it, yeah, you have a little bit of action. This this back in here, I'm going to do a little bit darker. I'm finding these videos that I'm doing for my students
Yes.
who are new.
Are they liking it?
They, I think they are, and I recommend them now.
Good.
Because well, I'm teaching, on Wednesday I teach the same stuff all the time, and when somebody is new, I put them onto the video, and I'll say, okay, I talked about all of that in video number whatever it is, and go to it and see if that helps you. Okay, I just want a little bit of Naples yellow. I'm going to put a little Naples yellow in with that. Put that a little bit, so that makes it a bit greener.
Oh, yeah.
I want to leave that there because that would behave that way. Yeah.
Well, you folks that may not have seen, we will critique your work.
Oh, yes, I love that idea,
So you just send us an image, and if you go to that little video, excuse me, telling you how to send an image, we will critique it. And I had Colleen, well, the first one was Marcia. She sent us an image. We're going to wait for a few of them to do them all at once. Right?
Oh, okay.
Rather than do one video of one.
Okay.
Then we have a lot of videos, but we'll group them together and talk
Okay,
about
let's say 3 or something.
Okay, whatever.
We'll keep it a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then very good.
And but Colleen Underwood called me
Oh, yes, did she?
yesterday, and she said, that's a great idea.
Oh, I'm so glad they feel it.
Now, I didn't think Colleen would want her work critiqued. I mean,
Oh, I'm flattered.
she's established. And she said, well, you need some other opinions. And she said, when I put it on Facebook or some places, I think there's a place where you can have your work critiqued, they just say nice things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I do.
She said,
too.
I want to...
Because I have this genuine feeling.
I know, but she wants to know what's right and what's wrong.
Oh, yeah, well, I tell them that. That's only fair. I mean,
well,
that's...
Anyway, because if they know it's your work, they're only going to say good things most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't know that it's your work, and that you say you want somebody to critique it, then they'll give an honest opinion because they don't think it's yours, right?
This is true.
And so she said, I get these,
wishy-washy stuff?
Yeah, feel good comments.
Okay.
But she said, I want honest.
She wants honesty.
Yeah, she said, I'm going to be, how much is it going to cost? I said, it's free.
Yeah, of course.
Free?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she said, I'll be using it.
Yeah, good. I remember I was jurying a show a few years ago.
Yeah?
And when you go around during a show,
Yes,
and you get people you around with, and they make your comments and things like that. Now, and so you don't know who they are. You don't know who the artists are. So anyway, you get real honesty that way.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There was one woman there, and I said, and I was critiquing her work, And I said, wow, you know, I said, this woman's got real possibilities, but I said, I sure would like to have her for a student. Because I said, I'd take her here and I'd take her there, and I did all that kind of stuff. She was one of the women who, with the writing stuff, she was taking all this down. Well, she called me after, and she said, you know, where do you teach? You know, and I did, and I really do think it changed her.
Yeah.
But it's really a good idea, I think. And that was an honest opinion that I had of her work.
Right.
She was a lovely painter, but it was just, you know, the inexperience.
Yeah.
See, I like this little edge here. I don't like them to be too hard. Why I'm taking my time with this one as well is that I don't know what's going to happen all the time.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't really know.
It's
so I have to follow it. Yeah, it has to.
It has a horse throat and
It
can't
has,
get it out.
yeah, it really, really does. Now, back in here, that's way saturated, that background here, so that definitely needs some water. White and like little white caps going on back there.
Isn't it something when you bang, you hit it?
Oh yeah, I know. I did it with that one.
Yeah.
You know, but I worked on 2 days to get it. It took me 2 days to do that. And normally speaking, I'm one of these. I call that the second sleeve. Like the reason why I don't like to knit and sew is because I've already put in a sleeve and I don't want to do it twice. I think there are a lot of people like that, and so I mean it's. Oh, imagine I've already done it once, and then I have to do it again.
I know, but it's a different hand.
Yeah, still.
When I first started seeing April, she was really smart idea. I didn't know it, but she was knitting me one of those. Remember those big sweaters that were thick, you know, with the anchors and all that stuff.
Oh, was she? Bless her heart.
And I didn't know it. And when I drove into her place, you
put your foot in your mouth. No, don't go it.
No. When I would drive
sometimes he does that, people. Sometimes you see, I walk along and I'll say, who is that down there with his foot in his mouth? Oh my gosh, that's Ivan's.
That's why I got a big mouth. I got so many feet in it. Anyway, when you drove into her place, where she lived with her mother, you drove in behind the house, and you could see in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Right. And because it was one of those old Cape Cod houses, you know, where you walked in and you were basically in the kitchen.
Yes.
There was a little porch there, but you could see right in the window. And a couple of times, when I would drive in, she'd take off upstairs. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, but she would hear the car coming, and she'd be turned back on, running upstairs, right, going through the door to go upstairs. And I didn't know. I mean, I had no clue why. But anyway, she said, and her mother had a good friend, Sam, and they were there one night, and I drove in, and she says, she took off. And then later, when she came downstairs, she said, we were talking about how long your arms are. You have long arms. How long are your arms compared to mine?
Oh, isn't that clever?
And, well, I stuck my arms out, she stuck hers out, and she measured my arm.
Oh, really?
So she got the sleeves the right length.
Oh, I love that story. Oh, I think that's a beautiful story, Ivan.
And I love that sweater.
Oh.
I don't know how many, it was unraveling.
Have you still got it? Yeah, like sometimes, you know, you just...
Well, she might have heaved it on me, but it was, I don't know if it's still around or not. But the sleeves underneath were coming unraveled and all that. But it had so much sentimental value.
Of course it did. These are the foam holes.
Yeah. The what?
Foam holes.
Okay.
You know, if you've seen them, of course.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere here. So I'm putting these little foam holes in, and see, they're surrounded in white, but they've kind of fused and muted together. Especially when they're in the shade, because you think, okay, you put white around here. And then you do this, and then you do that. And so you have to keep going. You have to work this. With this, you kind of have to work it till you get it.
I know.
You know? It just is one of those kind of things. I was really even debating whether I would put this one on the internet But I
No,
took
no,
this.
you got to do some good stuff that takes time.
Takes time. This is, as I say, this is a more advanced one.
We can take a couple of sessions if we need.
If we need to. And I'm doing quite well doing this because I've done this a couple of times now. But it still requires I'm going to do a little bit of, it's going to be a little water breaking here.
Yeah.
Because it does that.
Oh, does it ever?
I love looking at the ocean. I mean, it's such an amazing, amazing thing. Totally beautiful.
I'd go down there to take pictures, and I didn't want to leave.
Oh, of course not.
Oh, the next one! Look at this one coming.
You know,
I gotta go after this one. Oh, but look what out there is coming!
I know. It's the seventh wave or something. Is the
well, that's what they say, but
is it? I wonder. I've sat there and counted them.
No.
And it does have some validity.
Yes, but you know what? I think I mentioned before. Every 15 or 20 minutes, you'll get the big ones.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
That's how it works.
That's why people get washed overboard.
All right.
They're there for 10 minutes. Oh, that's great. And they go down close. 5 minutes later, it's too late.
Bye-bye.
Because when it hits, it sneaks up on you. It doesn't look like it's big. And then when it's big, you're too close to run away.
When I was young, very young, Neil was a baby.
The other day.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, you sweet thing. Oh, it makes me want to have a man cold. With such kindness like that. So we're going to fill in that little blot there. And what's going to happen here is going to be this is pulled back, but what happens, it leaves a little bit of,
you got to have some foam water running down
coming down here, and it'll do this kind of thing.
Oh, does it ever? It's amazing.
Yeah, so it does that. It'll come down like so. And this will be in the shade, so because the sun is coming from this direction. It comes down in here. When he was very little, and he was really, really, really little, I went to, he wasn't even in school yet.
Yeah.
I went to, my mother was living in Calgary, so I went out to visit her, and my sister and her husband. I went out to visit, so I took the children on a train. It was a lovely, lovely, it was beautiful. Anyway, they were in Calgary, so we went into the mountains one day. Neil couldn't talk yet. You know, he still doesn't talk a lot. Anyhow, we were, as I say, in the mountains and the water and all that kind of thing. Little didn't even know we were an artist, what was going to happen to this guy, because he's a beautiful painter, as you know.
Yes, yes.
And he started to cry when we left.
Oh.
He started to cry. He loved it that much. And it was like this little guy caught the beauty of these mountains. And we said, oh, like, what's he crying about? There's nothing to cry about. He was fine. He was dry. He was fed. But we realized, I thought, you know what? It's because we're leaving.
Oh.
I know.
That's touching.
And he's always loved beauty. And he paints this, what he does with the landscape here, or the seascapes here, he just paints them beautifully because he loves them.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Well,
he's really good.
Bob Dietz and I used to have these arguments. Well, not disagreements. Bob was German, and he was in the Second World War, and he painted Dresden.
Oh.
I said, Bob.
Oh,
That was horrible. Like, body parts and blood and guts all over the place. I said, Bob, you people don't appreciate, you young people, you don't appreciate. I said, Bob, I appreciate the freedom. I appreciate.
Oh, yeah. It's not about appreciation, no.
I don't want to go home and look at that on the wall. I want beauty. I want something to relax my mind, to see the beauties of creation.
Yeah.
And to give you peace. I don't need that. Who would want to look at that on your wall?
Yeah. It's not, I understand not forgetting.
Oh, I understand that.
Of course. But I think art really is, years ago, before we had internet and things like that, of course, it was the way people communicated.
Yeah.
Their political views and so on. I don't like that. It's just too, I'm looking at it and it looks...
It's too thick.
It is, and it's... Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, that works better. All right, now this is going to be a little lighter in the front. So I'm going to go in here with a bit of this lighter stuff. Not a lot lighter, but I'm going to just put a little more in here, a little more texture. How are we doing for time, Ivan?
I don't know. Wait till I go check.
Okay. It's on the stove.
Okay.
I'm just going to catch that light there, like that, and there's going to be a little bit more there. And then there's going to be darker at the bottom. And then I'm going to connect it with a bit more of this stuff.
It's 8:25.
How are you doing for time?
Well, I got to, give her another 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, how have you? Okay.
We're not going to finish it. I mean, you aren't.
Yeah, we are.
You're going to finish this in 10 minutes?
I think so.
Wow.
I don't think although we could leave it if you want.
No, you can do it as long as I'm home by 9.
Okay. All right.
I'm only 5 minutes away.
All right.
6 at the
Let's see,
most.
what else do we want to do here? All right. It's coming really quite well. I'm going to make this. I'm going to do it. This is so funny with these foam holes. You find these little shadows. They're very much like doing rocks, just in case you wonder. Funny, it's taken me 2 days to do it, but I taught it yesterday.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
How'd they like it?
They liked it. Yeah, my advanced group did. Then I did I have an advanced group in the morning, and then in the afternoon it's more of the beginners.
They both did it?
No, oh no, it'd be too hard for the beginners to do it. It's just too complicated. It's not. It's more like I have expressions that I say. Well, some things I can show you, and some things I can teach you.
Yes.
And somebody asked me what I meant by that is, I've been painting for a long time, so I don't always understand that. Like my talent, if you like, or my experience, whatever you want to call it, plays quite a role in this. So I'm assuming that people can do something where they,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean, and they probably can't yet.
I know.
And they just can't yet. I couldn't have either. One of the things I did say though, and I forgive me if this sounds arrogant, but these videos that I'm doing, I wish I'd had them when I was starting. I thought, my gosh, I don't know about. I haven't been watching really anybody else's, but I really feel good about doing the basics.
Yeah, well, you know what? You really find out what you know when you start teaching.
Boy, do you ever! Oh my gosh, teaching has been my probably my best in many ways. I'd have to say, my best teacher.
Yeah.
I've had some good teachers, though. I have. I've been lucky. The other thing is, I think you know when you've got a good teacher.
Oh yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really liking this. I'm going to just put. I know this isn't in the original.
Yes. You gotta put some orange in the rocks.
I am.
That'll make it sing.
Especially with all this blue.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to capture.
Ooh, now you're cooking now.
I know. So this thing. Folks, did you listen to that? I tell
You're down my trail now.
Yeah, really. Makes you wish he doesn't get a man cold, doesn't it? Okay, there's a little spot there.
Yeah.
We're going to put a bit here. I don't want to overdo it because what happens?
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Just the right amount.
Just the right amount. So a little bit here. It's just catching that light.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now you got to put in the green in the.
Yeah. Oh yes. You're right. Well, that's what right in here. It's going to be. That's where the light is going to hit. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Indian yellow. That's a beautiful, beautiful color.
No. Indigenous yellow.
Ah. First Nations yellow.
Indigenous.
We mustn't be naughty.
I know.
So it's just like this.
Oh, that's that special green.
Yeah, it really is. I know. For First Nations, we are so fortunate.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
when I was
a little bit lighter than that.
Peter Robinson, man, I was up there getting those pictures.
Uh-huh.
What character. He had such character in his face. Yeah.
There. That's what happens when it comes near the light like this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take that up a little higher.
Yeah, it's a little even there. You want
just a little even. I wonder why they call it Indian yellow. Maybe it's
Indian summer.
Not necessarily they're not using this after the indigenous people. It might be from actually India.
Oh no! Everything here is now.
Could be Ivan.
Yeah.
I don't know everything, Ivan. Do you?
Nearly. My wife says, I think I know everything.
She's probably right. You probably do.
No.
There, I'm just putting a little bit of that green
Yeah.
just up in there, just to bring that. And I'm going to just put a little bit in here.
Yeah.
It's mostly diddling and fiddling now to get it right. And it's a little bit too dark in there. How do I know that? You know, you have to work it. I do like this, work it till you get it.
Yeah. My sister-in-law, Rosalie, they did me things.
Beautiful name.
They did
Rosalie.
yeah.
That's lovely.
They did some favors for me, and I must do her a painting. And she wanted an ocean scene with the waves crashing. Man, I worked. It was oil. I worked and worked and worked on that thing. Finally, I got it.
Oh, well, that's what I did with this one. I did as well. This is
Yeah.
why it took me quite a long time to
And
do
just
it.
when you think you can, it's almost perfect. But there's one little thing that bugs you.
Yeah, and you can't sleep at night until
And
you get it.
then you lose it. Do you ever have that happen?
Oh, I have.
Try to fix this little thing, and then you lose the whole
yes,
thing.
yeah, you have to. For me, it's there's a rhythm to this to
Yeah.
painting.
Yes.
And if, like, I'm going to finish this today, which is going to be quite interesting. And it's because I've done 2 or 3 of them already.
All right.
But, you know, if there is, it's kind of like, as I told you, I've played at golf. No point in saying I've played golf, but I've played at golf, and it's a beautiful, you know. And it's probably my favorite sport.
Are you serious?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love
You can have it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, but what I've discovered, see what I'm doing, this is
Yeah.
water going over the sand.
That's right.
Filling in here. And if I have to wait a long time, you know, if the course is very crowded.
Oh, the golf course.
Yeah, the golf course
I
is
thought you
very,
meant the
very
waves.
crowded. Yeah, no, it's really, really crowded.
Yeah.
I don't play that well. I play because I love it. And that's really, you should do everything because you love it. And you lose the rhythm. Like you have to get up and hit the ball. I can't hit it. Well, that's not, you know, really.
In the wrong place.
Yeah, right. Okay, a little bit more underneath here. We're going to finish this today. I don't think we would, but we are. Okay, I'm just doing a little bit of green underneath there. I'm using this.
Yeah.
I've got Indian yellow in here, and that's what it's called. So, dear, I'm going to stay with it.
I'm only being.
I know we're being facetious people.
Yeah. I don't mean disrespectful. I'm just.
Oh my gosh, anything but that. It's so totally not that way.
Yeah.
With anyone.
I know.
Totally
I never intend to hurt people. That's the last thing I want to do. But sometimes my wife said I can't joke because people think I'm serious. And we talked about that. No, I like to have fun and carry on with people. But
I do too. But never to hurt them.
No, that's the last thing.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, back we go to the white. We're just doing all these
You gotta
little
have some
finesse
bright
things here.
foam on there. Is that it? Yeah.
So that edge there, it's never a hard edge.
No, this is where it's all wavy and bumpy and
it does.
uneven and
Yeah, it does that.
and those highlights.
Oh no. And then you say, okay, is that working?
And if it doesn't, you change it.
Then you change it. This is the nice part about doing acrylics.
Yeah.
That you can do that. This is what I wanted to tell you.
What?
Well, people have talked about, like, you know, the difference between this, because I'm doing it I'm doing it both. It's a bit, the style is watercolor style, but it's also with some texture. And I'll tell you, my experience in watercolor has taught me a ton about acrylics. Yeah. Just a ton. And I would have to say that if you're going to do acrylics this way, it would be to your advantage to do a few watercolors as well.
Yeah.
Because it's the best of both worlds.
Yep.
There.
All done?
I think. I like the fact that this is understated. I think it's probably pretty good. I think you'll get a lot from this. Maybe a few more little foam happening in here. What do you think, Anna?
Yep.
Do you like it?
Yeah, of course do I like it.
Oh, Oh, you're such a friend. You are. I'm so lucky to have you as a friend, Dinah.
I thought so.
That's why. That
You know what?
is exactly why I do.
Yeah.
He is such a fun man to be with.
I
You
thought
are
everybody
really a
liked
good
me.
friend.
I don't know how I was late teens, I think, before I found out some people didn't like me.
No, really?
Yeah, I thought
Oh, I
everybody...
can't imagine that.
I can't either.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, we like
Reality struck. I was so upset. I was hurt. Oh, you know.
Yeah, well, of course. Here we have it.
There we go.
I was saying, do you want me to? You know what I'm going to do though this time? I'm going to move this.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to get a mat.
Okay.
I'll put a mat on it,
All right.
because
Put a
it looks
mat
so much better with a
All
mat.
right. I know.
No. So I got one right here.
All right.
And look at there.
Oh. Wow.
What you think? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my John Henry on here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I quite like it.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm going to put Janet Jacqulyn right down here.
Oh. Is that your name?
Mm-hmm. It is. Has been for a while now.
Oh, very good.
There we
There you go. Give you your hand.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. See you later, everybody. But
Okay, don't forget to subscribe, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Yep.
All of us, have a wonderful week, people. And don't forget to write into me and stuff, because I'll be glad, both Ivan and I will be glad to critique your work. Take care.
bye.
Bye.